Welcome back, guys. Baby got snacks.
We should get like a clapper thing.
One of those things that's like,
There.
and three, and then
And
then
that's
you go
the final one.
yeah, and then you're yeah. It's our 69th episode.
Welcome. One of the two fun.
This week we thought we'd embrace that number episode.
69. Embraced.
Well, okay. In book form, we're embracing it in book form by reading probably the smuttiest book I'm sure I own, because there is no plot, only porn. I said it.
Just corn.
Yeah.
And not only that, but in a church.
And I'm sure that gives away what we read. It was Priest.
I sure hope so.
Sierra Simone.
Y'all know more about. There's many afloat.
I'm sure there's many more church books. Sierra Simone is known for very racy books. She wrote another book that was pretty popular on TikTok. It had the princess on it with the princess's back on it. Oh goodness.
I don't know if I know that one.
I think it was maybe last year that a lot of people, or maybe a couple years ago, that people were raving about. American Queen. So it's part of a series called the New Camelot series, and it looked like that.
Oh.
So a lot of people talked about that. Looks like it's about maybe president, princess. I'm not sure.
That's also
a couple
romance.
of books. Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. Maybe she did write. So there's also a book that she wrote in 2019 called A Lesson in Thorns, and it says Thorn Chapel #1.
Oh.
Look at that, though.
Oh. Well, there is more church porn, and it's all from Sierra Simone.
Yeah, I don't know. So she wrote, Misadventures of a Curvy Girl. There's, yeah.
I feel like certain romance writers just have so many books in their catalog. What was that phase?
So she's got a series called Misadventures, which I've never heard of. I think each book must pertain to a certain trope, is what I'm going to assume, because remember I said the Misadventures of the Curvy Girl. There's another one, Misadventures with a Professor. So I'm going to assume that it's probably certain tropes. I scrolled to, because I was like, well, maybe these are just like little, maybe novellas, 100 so page, no, 1,208 pages on Misadventures with a Professor. So, way bigger than I anticipated.
Smoke. That's what she said. Ew.
Oh god. Now I want to know. Misadventures in Blue. Oh, the Popo.
In blue.
Yeah, that one's 216. What happened with the Professor?
We're all over she had a lot to say about the Professor. He's just more interesting than the cop.
I know. This is on brand. That's on brand.
Bonus material.
It's
man. Well, for all you at home who maybe don't want to read these, I strongly suggest looking at the covers at least.
Oh, 110%. I thought that'd be. She's got like over 21 books in this Misadventures series.
Holy smell. I haven't heard of those. The only ones I've heard of is this Priest series. Oh.
A Merry Little Meet Cute. She writes part of it. Like, it's Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone.
Oh, and they go by, isn't it like Megan Quinn or something?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Let me see.
maybe I'm thinking something else. There's a lot of books now that has meet cute in the title now.
Yeah, it just has Anne Sierra Simone.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
That just came out like this past year, right?
I did.
I think.
That one came out in 2022, but the
Oh.
second just came out. Yes, that one just came out.
Oh, Holly Jolly Ever After. Wow. That didn't click in my head at all.
Didn't either. Oh,
That
so
was
she
her.
has a helps with a series just called Porn Star. That's the series name. Is
You know.
that okay? Interesting. I just have lots of questions and not a lot of answers. But okay, so
I'm scared to know the answers.
this week we read Priest.
Priest.
I read it a while ago.
Yeah, you read it
Yeah,
a while ago.
it's been a hot minute. I was gonna reread it, decided against it. So,
This is a series I think we bought together, and we bought the whole series.
Yeah,
at once.
Yeah, and then I read mine during our 24-hour readathon.
You should check out that episode if you haven't.
Yeah, that was a wild time. Figured they were smaller. So I thought I could get to them faster.
Yeah.
This book, okay, so I rated this book when I read it a 4 out of 5 because I rated it higher.
Immediately defensive.
I know, immediately. This book, you are not going to read for the plot. You are not going to read wanting to fall in love with the characters. You are going to read it for the simple fact that you want to read the smut. You want to read the sex scenes. It's pretty much all this book was. I gave it a 4 out of 5 because those scenes were spicy. And I feel like it did its job with what it wanted to do, which was be a porn book. And I
can't argue with that.
That's why I gave it a higher, because I felt like I couldn't judge it on the plot.
Yeah.
Because there really wasn't
the point.
And the point was not for me to fall in love with the characters.
Yeah.
It was just to read them getting down and dirty in the church, which that accomplished.
They did.
Multiple times. Yes.
I gave it a 2.75.
Which I immediately
it just didn't feel
that.
right giving it a 3.
I immediately saw that and I was like, I'm gonna have to tell her why I rated it higher. Like I'm gonna have to. She's probably looking at that being like, what the hell was she thinking? And I'd be like, okay, well.
Yes. It was I mean, just smut, which
oh yeah,
I'm sure that is what she intended and she nailed it. But there were so many times throughout the book where I paused to see if I made any progress, and it didn't look like I was making any. I just couldn't finish fast enough. Like I just wanted to be like, am I almost done yet? No, fuck. Is this almost over? No, fuck.
This book like made me blush reading. Like I was just like, okay, we're doing this. Okay, all right.
And I think what really got me was when they were doing it on the podium, and then she was explaining what she was seeing during that time, and she was like, and then I saw God, and he was coming into me, and you were coming into me, and I was like, I can't. I can't.
I completely forgot about that. So I just remember them doing it on the altar. I remember there was ropes. I feel like holy water was involved.
Holy oil was involved.
There we go. Okay, I knew something holy. Yes. Yep.
And then he used like a holy cloth to clean her up, and he was like, "It feels right." I'm like, "Does it?"
This whole thing doesn't feel right. Yeah.
I think, and like his past just didn't feel necessary. It felt too dark for something that just kind of felt like it had to be there. Like we had to give him a reason he was a priest, because no one just wants to be a priest.
This book, I feel like I don't know if this is like the longest in the series. There's 1, 2, 3. There's four books in the series.
Ish. There's 3 main ones, and the Midnight Mass is like 1.5 technically, but I think when we were looking at it before, you saw that there was like a 2.5 coming out soon.
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Let me look. Priest has 289. 289.
I don't think it reached 300.
Midnight Mass has way too many pages. This book I absolutely despised.
And I know I said I was gonna read Midnight Mass.
You really don't need to. No, you really
I did
don't
not.
need to.
I actually took the whole series and put it in my
Oh,
bag.
I kind of okay. First off, though, the cover's absolutely gorgeous.
I love the fucking cover.
Like 178 is Midnight Mass.
Yeah, it's like a novella.
I think I'm gonna keep it for now and read the other. I'm gonna do it. I want to read the other two. We're gonna see what happens. And
I just couldn't. There were so many like
afterwards.
Like I'd rather read the sequel to Hooked or Twisted Love.
There's different books that have very detailed crazy sex scenes, but like also have a plot to them, and you actually do fall in love with the characters. I feel like a good example of that is Icebreaker. I loved the characters. There's a lot of side characters that you fall in love with as well, which is what the books are, like the sequels to the books. You get like kind of the side characters' own journeys. But there were some spicy scenes, but I felt like they were scenes that people could relate to. They were scenes that people could be like, okay, I could see like myself doing that, or not this, where this is like so out of like left field.
Yeah.
That people
I feel this plays more on like fantasies that people like one of those thoughts that's like, would you?
Oh, there is, yes, Gloria, which is Priest 2.5. So it goes Priest is 1, Midnight Mass 1.5, Sinner 2, Gloria 2.5, and then Saint, which is 3.
Okay.
So I guess I could read the back of the book.
Oh yeah, and say I don't remember any of their names.
His name was Tyler. I don't remember that.
Ew, that's right. Yeah, it didn't fit well. Let's say
Poppy, that fits well, but Tyler, I don't know about that. Okay. I like how it starts with he's a priest and here is his confession. Okay, we're getting right into it.
Yeah, it had a whole like prologue.
Yeah. Yes, it did. There are many rules a priest can't break. A priest cannot marry. A priest cannot abandon his flock. A priest cannot forsake his God. Tyler Bell has had no problem playing by the rules for the past 3 years after a family tragedy set him on the path to priesthood. That all changes when the delicious, sultry voice of Poppy Daneforth, that was hard to read, sinks its claws in him through the screen of his confessional booth, and he can't get her sins out of his head. It should be easy to put his impure thoughts of her to rest, considering the vows Tyler has taken. Should be nothing to overcome what the sight and sound of her does to him when his life with the church means everything. But once he has his first forbidden taste of those red lips, Tyler can't help but break all his rules for Poppy, no matter what it might cost them both. So that is Priest.
She always has the red lipstick on.
Yeah.
I don't remember Tyler's brothers' names. I mean, I barely remember Tyler's name. And the way he always called her Lamb.
Oh,
because he's
that
the shepherd and he can't.
No.
Little
no.
Lamb.
No. Midnight Mass. I like how in Goodreads said it's intended for mature audiences only. Midnight Mass, I believe, is just a sequel to Tyler and Poppy, I want to say, getting married.
Yeah, the final scene in Priest is them getting married. Doing it before they walk down the aisle and then getting married.
As one does, I guess. I just opened a random book and they were already doing it.
Checks out.
So it doesn't say, I know this is about Tyler and Poppy. I don't exactly remember what happens. I'm sure she gets pregnant at some point. It just says in the back of the book, we are told that God will punish the wicked, that sinful men will reap what they sow. We are told to scour our souls with prayer and pain to become clean once again. Well, here I am, wicked and sinful, desperate to become clean, even though it feels so good to be dirty. But even I never expected what came next. Even I never expected my punishment to come so soon. I don't know. He must get in trouble. I gave this like a 2 because I was like,
You
this
said
is
he's an extra asshole in that one, right?
yes. I did not like it. Do I remember what happened? Absolutely not.
He
But
gets a personality, and it's not good.
But I remember that I wanted to chuck that book across the room and never look at it again. Now, Sinner, I believe, is about the brother. Let me see.
And a nun, right? Or almost nun.
About Father Bell's brother, Sean. I don't remember who Brother Bell is.
That's Tyler.
Oh, okay. So his brother, Sean. Okay. Also, the main girl character's name is Zenny. Don't like that.
Okay, we need to stop with the weird, quote unquote, quirky names.
I don't know how. So I will read the back of the book of Sinner because I don't know if it mentions in the first book how old Sean is.
I know he has an older brother, and then I think 2 younger ones.
So this is what
maybe.
I'm not a good man, and I've never pretended to be. I don't believe in goodness or God or any happy ending that isn't paid for in advance. In fact, I've got my own personal holy trinity in the name of money and sex. Amen. I think it says, I'm gonna butcher this. Is it McKellen 18? I don't know what that stands for. I'm sorry if you listeners know what that is, and I just butchered that one to no end. I'm so sorry. So when the gorgeous, brilliant Zenny Iverson asks me to teach her about sex, I want to say yes, I really do. Fortunately, there are several reasons to say no, reasons that even a very bad man like myself can't ignore. 1, she's my best friend's little sister. 2, she's too young for me, like way too young. What is way too young?
Red flag.
3, she's a nun. Okay. Or about to be anyway, but I want her. I want her even with my best friend and God in the way. I want to teach her and touch her and love her. Ugh. And I know that makes me something much worse than a very bad man. It makes me a sinner.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'm calling it quits on this. Oh, maybe McKellen is a whiskey?
What?
The
McKellen 18?
The McKellen, whatever we get, maybe it's probably a liquor. That's my guess.
That would make sense. Gloria must be about Sean and the end of Sinner.
Right, yeah.
And then Saint. I can't have Elijah Iverson. Okay. Iverson. Wait a minute. Iverson last name was Zenny's last name. Zenny Iverson. Okay, so somehow that one they're related to Zenny. Okay. I can't have him because he's my older brother's best friend. I can't have him because I broke his heart 5 years ago because he's now engaged to someone else, someone kind and dependable who deserves his whiskey eyes, his soft mouth, his fierce intellect. I can't have Elijah because I've chosen God instead. The Bell brothers, though, well, we don't exactly have the greatest track record with vows, but I'm determined to do this monk thing right, to pledge myself to a life and spend the rest of my life and years in chastity and prayer. But now Elijah's here. He's here and he's coming with me on my European road trip, and between the whispered confessions and the stolen kisses and the moments bent over an ancient altar. What is with... Okay. My vows are feeling flimsier by the day, and vows or not, I know in my heart that it would take more than a good and holy monk to resist Elijah Iverson right now. It would take a saint, and we all know that I'm no saint. Okay, that makes sense with the title. I get it now.
I do like the wraparound with the title.
Love a good wraparound. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I might read those if I like need to read something, like for a 24-hour book reader, something that's shorter, filler, something that can go through.
Get them out of the way.
Think.
I will say TikTok didn't lie. It was what I thought it was going to be, just to an extreme.
Yeah, okay. They didn't lie. But
yeah, I don't feel fooled. I just feel
you just feel gross. I get it. Yeah, no, I get it. I don't feel fooled. I just feel
little
gross.
romance book questions.
Okay,
because this one's very deep and meaningful.
Yep. Yeah.
Tropes.
God, I don't know.
God. Spice rating.
5. This book is the reason I go from like 0 to priest. Like this book is just insane to me.
It wasn't like crazy with like necessarily what they were doing, just like where and like with like blessed holy oils and towels and cloth and like yeah,
it didn't get like too crazy. Like I read crazy books. Well, I guess to me, I don't know, everyone has their own take on what's crazy to them and what's not.
Yeah.
So like me, I read the Pucked series, like the first one, and that one had like a woman and she had 3 boyfriends, and they like they were having like foursomes, and then 2 of the boyfriends were together. It was a whole thing.
I would get so lost.
I actually really enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the series.
I could see how. I mean, that's a long book, so it had time.
It was a thick book. It had a lot of character. Like you would learn the characters. She was helping a hockey team, so you get to know like the backstory. The second book is about her best friend and one of the hockey players getting together. I think the second one I'm going to be better because it's just the 2 of them. There's no one else. I think I can get into that one. But yeah, they cover a lot of bases in the first one. So it's a wild time. So that one I think to me is a little crazier than this one in the sense of like what they do. But also
this is pretty
a lot of things in a church. Yeah. In a church. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Couple believability. I mean, you don't learn much. Like, there's no reason besides the fact that I'd say he's a priest that I would say.
Yeah, you don't really get to like know.
Yeah, you don't get to know them really.
You don't need to know them really.
I don't care to know.
Like I said, you're not reading this book to learn about the characters at all.
This is not plot driven at all. Slow burn. No, they get to it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Pretty quickly.
And then he talks about his past and he's like, I've been with plenty of girls back then. It's like, I don't want to know that.
Doesn't at one point she gets back like with her ex, or he sees her with her ex and gets like all pissed off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
I thought I remembered.
What do you think happens to the leads after the ending? It has midnight mass, so you can figure it out, and it's not good.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I don't exactly remember. I might be able to. What I can do is go on to and probably find the 1-star reviews for Midnight Mass and try to figure out.
Ooh, we can work backwards from there.
I just feel like he was a total dick to her. Yeah. Like he would use his sex to like get not back at her, but I feel like it was more angry sex than this. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Would you fall for either?
Absolutely not. No.
Part of a series. Will you read the next one? No. Yours is you'll get to it.
I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm not like jumping for joy, like, oh my god, I've got to read this immediately. But I'll get to it.
How do you like the writing?
I don't really remember the writing.
It wasn't. I mean, it was fine. She
I feel
was
like it got to the
descriptive
point.
with the scenes.
I feel like what it wanted to portray, which was sex in a church, it did what it needed to do.
Yeah,
It was very
it
easy to
did what it
follow.
needed to do. She did.
It was easy to follow. There wasn't like extras where you're like, I can't keep up with this book. I feel like it's very
Yeah.
short and sweet in that sense of
Yeah.
like, okay, it's about people doing it in a church. It accomplished what it needed to do.
Yeah, there's no twist or unveiling of truths. It's exactly what you think it's gonna be. So if that's what you want, boom, bam, you got the book.
Then that is what you are going to
That
get.
is what you're gonna get.
Yeah. Yeah. This series definitely was big in TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Like last year.
I want to say last year, like early-ish last year.
I think I read it last year. I just don't remember. I wonder if I can see. Can I see myself? No. Okay. Well, I don't remember.
Oh, like when you read it?
Yeah, does it tell me? Oh, it does tell me. Okay, hold on. Let me scroll down enough.
I want to say summer, but I really don't remember.
It must have been March.
Oh, we did that a lot earlier than I remember.
What's weird is it doesn't have when I when I read it. So it's got when I read Icebreaker. Doesn't, and then it's got when I read that. So
weird. Maybe because you read it in one day instead of like a span.
Maybe.
Let me see if it says.
So this would be you up. This would be the beginning of March.
All I can say is, goddamn, was that a read for my first book of the year. It says 10 months ago.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, see, someone else rated it for what it was, 289 pages of just pure page porn. That's what it was. It's like, yeah.
There was a rating that's a 3 stars, but it says, I love how everyone admired Tyler for being a man of faith and a good priest, and he was doing the gobble gobble with Miss Poppy. We love a good banquet or Last Supper.
I love it. Love it so much. So Priest is at a 3.65 on Goodreads. 116,717 have rated this. Mainly 4 stars. 3 and 5 are about the same. Let's look at these 1-star ratings. I'm sure these are going to be great.
This is probably going to be better than the book.
I thought this book would be about a priest falling in love, not a priest being horny.
Correct.
Guys, if the man you're seeing that just so happens to be a priest calls you lamb before, and I quote, slamming into you, maybe you shouldn't stay near him. Maybe you should just run away and never come back, because what the fuck? Oh, God. He called her little lamb. I think that says enough.
Yeah, it was...
I'm not going to read the entire... This person's review, she put...
Oh my God. That's a whole book in of... Oh my God, it's still going.
She put time into this, but...
Damn.
I read this book's title should not be Priest. It should have been Tyler and the Struggles of His Dick, or will Tyler ever get his dick wet? The sex scenes between Poppy and Tyler was more vanilla than what Anna wanted with Christian. I think Anna and Christian, is that 50 Shades of Grey?
I want to say that's 50 Shades of Grey.
I'm sorry. This was vanilla compared to that.
Well, like I said, like what they were doing. The actual sex part was very just traditional. It just happened to be in a church.
A lot of people DNF'd it. Had great potential, and the author is very talented. The disrespect to the Catholic Church was extreme. Okay, well,
I mean, it's already... I feel like that's a given.
Yeah. a lot of people just couldn't finish it.
Yeah.
I need to bleach my brain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Someone, I'm only admitting I read this to keep up with my reading challenge.
Need those numbers.
I don't know what is really at stake, his priest position or his dick.
Fair. Yeah, the whole conflict was kind of dumb.
So I was like, at least it made me laugh. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it.
Look up Midnight Mass.
Okay. I rated it did I do a 2? 2.
Ooh.
Yeah, I gave it a 2. I absolutely despise this book. This one's at a 3.76 with 18,071 ratings. Mainly at 4 stars. Again, 5 and 3 are staying in about the same. Let me see what. Oh, okay. So this one kind of gives like a thing about Midnight Mass. So 3 years into married life, Tyler and Poppy are realizing marriage isn't as easy as they thought it would be. With their busy schedules and Tyler's constant guilt over the choices he's made, they find themselves looking for that insanely hot connection they have had. So it's them like trying to find themselves again, and he just like gets pissed off. Like,
his guilt for the decisions he made.
He made. Yes, that would be correct.
Let's just emphasize that.
Okay.
Lord.
Yeah, and it said this was literally pure smut, and my anger issues could not handle Tyler's horny ass. He really pissed me off this whole book, thinking with his dick at all times. Someone was like, Poppy on the other side was a queen. We stan her. I'm like, oh. Let's see. I'm trying to read. Like everyone was just like, this was. I was kind of hoping for a short erotic read, but it was just the things that they dealt with. But I don't really remember. Just like Tyler and Poppy, their communication sucked in this book.
I mean, their communication always sucked.
Also true. I just spent the whole book frustrated.
It kind of just sounds like it was trying to delve deeper into the characters for where they are now, but we didn't have the basis to start with of what they were. And so,
yeah,
it probably wasn't ever going to be successful.
Yeah, he was very controlling. So something happened and like he was very needy and jealous for no reason. And Poppy said rude things to him too. This other person's story about self-centered, hypocritical, controlling man and a woman with no personality or backbone. Yeah, they really Tyler Bell is insufferable is what they wrote. Yeah. Maybe less sex thoughts, question mark? If some man told me that I had healed him with my magical vagina, I'd never want to fuck a man again.
Oh my God.
Total waste of money. Straight up, this relationship is so unhealthy. It was painful to read. I'm over Tyler's guilt. I should stop torturing myself.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh God.
This was unnecessary. Yeah, it was just about them, like, obviously in the first book, the heat or the chemistry between them was like so crazy that they, I feel like, got married very quickly. And so this book 3 years later is like, oh, we're not as crazy about each other as we once were because everything happened all at once.
Right, everything died down. Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm gonna call it quits. I wish I could keep them because they look great.
They're so pretty.
But it's not gonna happen. Wish I didn't buy the whole thing at once. But you know, what's done is done.
This year is a year for learning.
This year will hopefully.
And I think we're doing good. I feel like there are some books this year that we will be reading that do have sequels coming this year. So hopefully maybe we'll find some new series that we obviously will be able to buy the entire series to make sure that we like them.
Really hoping.
Yes.
Next week is not one of those, but
no, I had to hunt for that book. I tell you what, I did not know where that was. That was up in the loft with some other books. I do not remember when I got this book. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I don't remember when I got my copy either, but Lisa Jackson, a very classic mystery thriller writer, has like a bajillion books written. Kind of a thick one, we'll say.
Is yours small? Mine's small. So it's
Mine's
like 500 and something.
Size.
Okay,
yeah,
so is mine.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of how big it is. I'm going to tell you that right now.
300 pages in. It was pretty fast to get through, I will say.
You're super far. I'm only like 20 something.
I started earlier this week because it's so thick and I was scared I wouldn't have it done in time. So
yeah, she's thick. Did you? I feel like I'm gonna have to write down people's names because right off the bat, I'm already confused on who's who.
I was a little confused. Okay. Still am. Too far in for me to go back now.
Okay. Because it's talking about like Julianne and then so and so, and I'm like,
yeah.
Who is that?
I only remember Julianne and Darn. Wyatt's the husband.
Yes.
That's the only male I can really differentiate.
Then there's another.
There's a lot of people living in that house. And then you kind of start getting names of people outside of the island too. Oh, Jesus. Maybe write them down. I would maybe write down just who was the cousin, who was whatever. There's a lot of names.
Yeah. I will see about this one. This is my first book from this author, so
same. I haven't read one of hers,
so I don't know. I guess my mom owns 2 of her books. We'll see. I don't know. I think that she's been an author for a long time.
Yeah, she's kind of one of those classic. If you see like,
I feel like she's
40-plus-year-old's bookshelf, there might be 1 or 2 on there.
She's like the Nora Roberts of thrillers. Yeah. I'd say that. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. I don't know if so my copy, some of the pages are very light, like when they printed the book.
Oh.
So it is very hard for me to read sometimes.
I've not come across that problem yet.
Okay.
Fascinating. Must have just been the copy that
and then mom came into my room and I was reading it and she like laid on my bed and she looked and she was like, those words are so small. I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't like it. And then I was like, and then look at these pages and they were super light. And she goes, how do you read that? I'm like, the gift of God at this point. I don't know. I'm just going with the flow.
Oh Lord.
So yes, another thriller, giving it a whirl.
A little bit. But yeah.
Has been a little bit. Yep. Our first thriller of 2024. Happy New Year. May we get all the books that we want. Yes. Well, blame it on our episode number.
Yeah.
I don't think we would have picked it. Although I've been wanting you to read it just to have you scarred as well.
We probably would have had it somewhere in the lineup. So it might as well have been this episode.
No, that's right.
Anyway.
That's right. Yeah.
You can check our Instagram account at Baby Got Stacks Podcast. You can see our schedule for the month, see what we're reading. Like and follow wherever you're listening to this podcast right now. And I don't have much else to say about this book. I'm kind of just still reeling it in.
I couldn't read it for a second time. I just couldn't get myself to do that.
Don't blame you.
I couldn't mentally do it.
Mm-mm.
I love a good smut, but like this was too much.
Too much.
so much. I'm not even like I'm not religious, and I was just like, I
I'm
don't
just a
like it.
baby.
I'm just a baby. Yeah. I don't I it made me icky. I don't
Yeah, I didn't like it.
made me uncomfy. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, hopefully next week's better, guys.
Hopefully next week's better. I gotta go make some tabs for myself.
Yeah.
Got some writing to do.
Bye, guys.
Bye guys.